Welcome back to the channel. Crypto Trend Trader here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin chart and Fibonacci circles. But before we get started, I just want to say this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving some insights on the market and teaching people how to do some of the skills and use some of the tools that I've learned to use and ways that they have been useful for me to improve my trading. So today we're looking at the Bitcoin chart. We're starting off on the weekly, and we're actually going to be going back all the way to February of 2014. And we're going to look over here on the left for the Fibonacci circle tool. Go ahead and highlight that guy there. It'll pop up pop up Fib Circles. And then what you're going to do is click on that, and you're going to go again, just like the Fibonacci retracement. You're going to go from a swing low to a swing high. So we're going to start down here at this swing low, and we're going to take it all the way up here to December 2019. So we're going from February 2014 on the weekly to December of 2019 here. And you can see as we kind of get it in place now, as we look back at this trend after it's already played out, we can see from the low here, it got a reaction immediately off this circle. Once it broke through, it found support, and then it moved up, consolidated, didn't have enough strength to continue, but you'll see it interacted with this circle the whole way down, breaking through, finding support, breaking up to the next level, getting rejected, coming down. And now what the idea is these are just the Fibonacci retracements from the top to the bottom, but it's not taking into account just percentage price. It's taking into account also the time that goes by. So as time progresses, the target of the circle changes, and that gives you a different trajectory for the price to interact with it at different times. So as you approach these areas, or as you bounce off them and find support or resistance, you're likely to see an interaction with the next area or even the one after that. But it gives you targets. You can essentially like trade through the dead zones and go ahead and take longs at the bottom of them, expecting it to bounce to the next, etc. And you'll see I do have a couple long-term trade lines in place here as well that we've interacted with over time. And you'll see I've drawn them basically like from the bottom of one to different points interacting towards the bottom of the next, the bottom of this kind of a channel traveling up, and see how we interact as we go. That's like the heart line of it from the top of the trend to the bottom. And then you can kind of see as price interacts in different areas. So now we've already drawn this one in here, this old one, but this one's barely relevant anymore because the next time it's going to come into effect is essentially like 2020. So we can basically rule that one out here. But you'll see I've drawn one now again from the December 2019 high down to the January 2014 and 2014 low. And now that one's going to be in red here, and you'll see again throughout the trend itself, as it was going down, it was interacting with these points. But of course we didn't know that yet because we hadn't hit the bottom. So we can only use the points that it has projected forward for us, and then allowing us to use those as we come into contact with them, we can see what happened. And you'll see if we get a little closer here, as we come into contact with this red one, it kind of picked up price, it broke down through, came up and touched it, and then just kept doing what it was doing. But that was essentially the breakout point from this entire downtrend, was a reaction after that. And you'll see that there was a huge spike up, and that that has to be related to the Fib circle, obviously. It's not just coincidence how these work. And you'll see there's often an interaction. It doesn't necessarily tell you direction of price, but it gives you the area that it might interact in the future based on like percentages of price change. So you'll see next we have the green one. So we took that from the bottom of 2019 up to the June 2019 rally that we're currently in right now. And that's giving us the green Fib circles. And again, as you look at it, you'll see the interaction as we go. We came up here, touched that one, come back down, kept moving up and along them. And now I'm going to get a little closer here. I'm going to take it into the daily so we can see a little bit more detail as we go. And you'll see now what we did with this green Fib circle is undeniable. I mean, we came up to it, come back down, up here, come back down, shot through a couple of them, resistance, support, rode it up. I mean, but the problem is you don't have this circle until you're already here. So now you can only react to this right here. And you'll notice that this green ring on the Fib circle, we cruised up to it, and as soon as we found it, we dumped. and then when we broke through it, that was support when we came back down. And then you'll see as we kind of dump back down, we just literally followed this as support once we had broken through it, and then finally we got picked up by the next set. And now what this next set is, this is what you really get good at doing Fib circles, and you're able to do this is well, as soon as this started reacting, we started putting in some moves here, and we started getting an idea, and you get this swing low here, you're able to start getting an idea as to how far you're potentially going to retrace based on some of these other things. So what I did is I took the swing high here, and then I actually moved this circle around a little bit until I got it just right how I wanted it. And you'll see what I was looking to do is line up this point here and these points here with that ring as a clear interaction, and then you can see there's clear interaction here, support and around there, and then you'll see there was clear here. So once I had gotten that, I drew it in right about here. You're now able to have targets into the future based on this circle, and you're not always going to be right. Sometimes you have to adjust it a little bit, but this is potentially giving you price targets and movement targets in advance, which is a huge advantage. And the way it's able to do that is based on the swings themselves. Bots and algorithms are going to try to move the price into those Fibonacci levels. Also traders, market makers, whales, whoever, they're going to move the price into those different levels. And what that's going to do is you're able to see where it's going to be interacting over time, so you can get a better idea when a breakout's coming inside of a triangle or if you're starting to wedge in. But you can see clearly here, and as you go to shorter time frames, you'll see even more reaction. I mean, you're getting picked up by these rings. You're literally interacting with them specifically. Undeniably, you're interacting with these rings. You cannot say that you're not, because it's coming literally from the bottom here, up 2 rings to the top there, coming back down, shooting back up to the next ring, coming back down 2 rings, back up to the same ring. I mean, it literally is finding support and resistance. And then as we come down here, we start punching through them. And where do we find support at? That's our heart line from all the way up that we already had drawn, that we found support on twice already, inside of this triangle that's taking place. So when we came back down to that and we bounced up on this fib circle, we could expect it essentially to get our measured move up. So we did. We took a long there and we did fine. And then we actually had taken a short off of this interaction over here with some of the other confluence and everything. So you'll see these will give you opportunities, just a small advantage in the market. But you can tell what's going to happen here. We're going to jump down. We're going to get a reaction off of that circle right there. And then what's going to happen? I mean, I think we're in the middle of a retracement, so I think we're going to come back down and we're going to test this support line again. And if this support line holds, it'll be like, you know, the 4th time in the recent history it's held. And what's likely to happen? It's likely to push us up again, but it's likely to push us up to a lower high, a lower swing, because we're swinging back down here. So if we do get that boost, we're going to get a little less on it every time. But even if we do fake out and go all the way back up, I'm expecting a reaction around this fib circle, around the downward sloping triangle. And then who knows, we might come down here soon. It looks like we're dumping since earlier we did the distribution, but we might come down here soon and we might break right through the bottom of that and go on down to one of our targets. And essentially what we did is we put our target down here at 88.27, confluence with that back line, for that to be a final support for us to come down, hit that fib circle. It's a corrected move off the triangle, and then from there we can bounce back up and move back to the upside. That's the end of the swing downward. Well, thanks a lot, guys. That's our Fib Circle video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming back. I'm Crypto Trend Trader. Appreciate you guys stopping by again. If you have any questions, comments, give us a like or subscribe. Leave a comment in the video, and check us out because we're putting out fresh content all the time. Thanks so much. Crypto Trend Trader signing out.